Welcome to Winning Retirement Television. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I am joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. To our viewers at home, the question of the day is, to Roth or not to Roth? Indeed, that is the question. Why am I feeling Shakespearean right now?
It's a great question, though.
Isn't it? Kristen, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Fantastic. You look beautiful as always.
So do you.
Oh, thank you. And Greg, you look handsome today.
Well,
Dapper.
thank you.
How are you?
Doing
well?
Great.
Dapper dude.
Dapper
Yes.
dude. All right. Coin a new phrase.
Yes.
Oh, well, I love today's show because obviously we talk quite a bit about the Roth. And the question of the day is, to Roth or not to Roth? That is the question. But again, going back to Shakespeare, do you remember what play that's from?
Well, is it, what was
Is that Macbeth?
Yeah.
Hamlet,
Hamlet.
actually. And it made me think about it when I saw this, so much so I had to Google. It's like, I just had to figure that out. But it's interesting to me because there's a lot of questions about the Roth. Do I do a Roth? Can I qualify for a Roth? And Greg, you've been so passionate about talking about it for so many years now since we've been together. So Kristen, I want to ask you, can you give us a quick rundown? How does the Roth work?
Yeah, so, of course, we know with an IRA or a 401k, we get to defer our taxes, right? We put money in, it grows with tax deferral, and then when we pull that money out, we pay the tax. Well, with a Roth, it's different in that you pay the tax up front, and then it grows tax-free, and then it distributes tax-free.
Okay.
So then you don't pay, you're paying the tax on the seed, not the harvest, so to speak. And what was nice about that is we're paying the tax in a time period where we know the tax rates.
True.
We know the dollar amount that's there. There's not many unknowns, right?
That's true.
If we wait till the future, we don't know what the future tax rates are going to be. We don't know what our future income needs are going to be. We don't even know what the account value is going to be because it grows. So those things are a little different, and that's why we like the Roth so much.
Which bodes the point of why wouldn't everybody do the Roth? We get to pay the taxes while they're low, accumulate tax-free, take distributions tax-free. It would seem that everyone should potentially do the Roth, but I don't necessarily think that's true. That's why I asked the question, to Roth or not to Roth. But there are some that are in the very highest tax brackets right now. So today that is 37% federal income tax rate. And I believe that if you're going to give up almost 40% going into the Roth, that might not make as much sense.
Sure.
But the majority of Americans are within the 24% tax bracket or lower, which is some of the lowest rates we've had in our history. So why not take advantage? If you, and for a couple that's $380,000 a year or less, you're at least at the very highest then at 24%.
Okay.
So that makes perfect sense to me. If you're in the 24% bracket or lower, you really should start to consider the Roth. So who can even contribute to a Roth? That's important.
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, you have to have earned income
Okay.
to contribute. So you have to have a paycheck. It can't come as an IRA distribution as far as earnings. That way, that, as far as if you're taking money out and you get a 1099 for it, that's not considered earned income, so that you can't necessarily count that. But Social Security doesn't count as earned income for people. But so it does have to come from a job.
Okay.
So if you're having earned income, now there's a maximum, and for a single person, you can't make more than $116,000 and contribute to a Roth IRA.
Okay.
And for a married couple, it's $240,000. If you make over $240,000, then you can't contribute to a Roth IRA. However, there is no income max for the 401k.
Oh, okay.
So we should ask our employer, first of all, do you offer the 401k Roth?
Okay, perfect.
And even the Ohio State University now is offering to some people the Roth 457 deferred comp.
Nice.
So that's something that's going on here locally. And so having those options to contribute to the Roth, and you have, with the 401k, you have more you can put in. So if you're under 50, you can contribute $23,000 into a Roth 401k or a traditional 401k.
Okay.
And then if your company is giving you a match, you get to obviously take advantage of that.
You boost it.
You boost it. That's right. Turbo boost it.
Nice.
I like that.
Yes.
And between company match and what we contribute, it can't be more than $69,000 a year. So that's kind of interesting.
That really is. That is. Kristen, with so much emphasis placed on the Roth, why aren't a lot of advisors talking about the Roth as an option?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't, because I think it becomes a slippery slope, and some advisor maybe think, okay, well, the accountant likes to be the hero today and save money on
True.
taxes right now, so why would I offer someone to pay more on taxes right now, right?
Yes.
And it takes a lot of coordination effort. Greg and I were looking at a couple things online the other day, and there was some information out there about Roth IRAs and Roth 401ks, which we'll probably get into later in the show, but the information is incomplete. And so you have to be really careful where you get your information from as far as deciding whether or not a Roth is good for you and your family situation. And it takes some coordination with a CPA. We're not CPAs in our office. We don't do tax preparation. However, we do work with a very established CPA firm who we pick up the phone and call, ask for questions, coordinate with clients all the time, and coordinate with clients' own CPAs that they've already worked with. And so it's a little more complicated. I think that's the only reason I can come up with that makes sense to me. I mean, wouldn't you say, Greg?
For sure. Oh, you might want to write this down, though. Just a little bit ago in the show, I made a mistake.
Oh.
So you want to write that down. I actually made a mistake. No, I said 116,000 for single people, and it's 161,000.
Okay.
I just thought that through. So now, something else to keep in mind is that if you're 50 and older, you can do what's called a catch-up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 23,000 in a 401k. If you're under 50, you can add an additional 7,500 if you're 50 or older as what they call a catch-up. So you get to catch up, making enough contributions to get closer to retirement. And it's $1,000 into the IRA or Roth IRA. So you can, if you're under 50 for the IRA or Roth, you can do $7,000 this year.
Okay.
If you are 50 and older, you can do an extra $1,000 or $8,000 if your income's within the range or limit.
So have your eyes glazed over yet? I mean, he can shoot off these numbers, and he just inverted a number there. But I mean, really, that's part of the reason why people aren't talking about it. It becomes a little complicated. And you have to coordinate other income that's coming in and really understand what you're doing. But it is a benefit for some people, especially when you're going to be looking at those IRAs growing and those 401ks growing to crazy numbers and potentially taking out more in RMDs after age 73 than you were making income when you were working.
Absolutely. And Kristen, I love what you said when we first started the show about pay the taxes up front now when we know what the tax rates are. We don't know what they're going to be in the future. So that makes sense, and it really ties in together with the Roth option.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does. And lately on the news, we've heard a lot about the state of Social Security, that, the 2035, that Social Security becomes insolvent, 2036, Medicare becomes insolvent. I mean, these are two big established things that, as retirees, people that are getting close to retirement, they're counting on. And so we're 35 trillion approximately in debt right now as a country. So to think that tax rates are not going to go up in the future, I think is not being responsible.
I agree.
So when we think about to Roth or not to Roth, then we also have to start thinking about, are tax rates rather likely to go up in the future? So does it make sense if you're in that 24% bracket or lower to go ahead and pay them up front so that later on, no matter what happens to tax rates, that we will be protected? You're in the real estate market. Imagine somebody coming to you 3 years ago when, you could buy a mortgage at, 3%,
Right.
pretty easy, a mortgage rate. Imagine them saying, we want to do an adjustable rate.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Time for our very first commercial break.
Yes.
Would that be okay?
Yes.
All right. To our viewers at home, there's a number to call on your screen. That number is 614-336-7660. What are you calling in for today exactly? You're calling in for peace of mind in your retirement. You've worked your entire life to get to the retirement years, and you deserve to have the retirement of your dreams. Do you know about the Roth options? Do you know about what your tax liabilities could be in the future? If not, this is the perfect time for you to claim your spot today with Greg and Kristen. All you have to do, once again, is call in to 614-336-7660. If you don't have your pen handy, that's okay. Grab your smartphone. You can click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to the landing page for Legacy Retirement Group. You can claim your spot accordingly. And also, even better, testmyretirement.com. Don't forget to visit the website. You will enjoy being there as well. We're going to take a very short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We're talking a lot about the Roth today and also the overall retirement plan so that you can have peace of mind in your retirement years. Stay tuned.
Plan smart, retire well. How do you do that? Many times we meet families and they actually think they have a plan.
But what about when you want to upgrade your house? What about when your wife wants to buy new furniture?
No investment decision should be made outside the context of a plan. So what is your plan? We believe in the 3-bucket approach as it comes to your finances. Your liquid bucket, which is what I call the sleep well at night account, for when the what ifs happen in life. Your income bucket, which is there to meet the gap between Social Security, maybe a pension, and what you really want to live in. We believe you should protect that income, then grow the rest. And then your growth bucket. The growth bucket's really focusing on helping you achieve your growth goals. As you transition from your working career to retirement, we want that to be the greatest moment of your life, and we don't want you to fumble the ball.
So imagine, when you're working, you're getting a paycheck. When you're retired, you have to pay yourself. The 3-bucket approach is a really easy way for people to start compartmentalizing what they're doing with their money.
We want you to be successful in any economy. We want you to thrive no matter what's going on. Worry and fear and greed are the biggest problems when it comes to investing. We want to take that off the table, and we want to make sure you have a consistent growth strategy. We want you to be just as successful in your retirement plan as you were in your accumulation plan.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. We're talking all about to Roth or not to Roth. That is the question. I love the fact that we're talking about this today, how to save into your Roth, how to save into your 401k. But my question is, what happens when you have to start taking money out? Greg, what does that process look like? Let me start with you.
Well, that's a wonderful question. I love being asked that question because with our traditional retirement accounts, so the traditional IRA, 401k, 403b, the TSP, the 457 deferred comp, and we could go on with these tax deferred accounts. There is a day of reckoning. It is called required minimum distributions. First of all, the word required.
Yes.
The government says, you know what, we're going to let you delay, but eventually you have to pay up. And so that right now is age 73, and in 2033 it goes to age 75. So that can be complicated in and of itself. It was at one time 70 and a half, and
And we
Yes,
had a lot of people ask, why are they moving it to age 75?
Yeah.
What happens?
Valid question.
What happens 2 years later if you let it keep growing? What happens to that account?
Ooh, it keeps growing a little more?
Getting bigger.
So
And then
Yes.
guess how much they get out of it? They get more tax.
guess
There
what?
you go.
It expires in 2 years.
The tax laws.
The Trump tax cuts.
They're not dumb.
Yeah.
Let's let them delay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't pull it out while our taxes are low. Let it increase before we pull it out. That just kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are sneaky. There's lots of sneaky taxes. We don't have time for that on this segment, but I do want to talk about the Roth, because with the Roth, you do pay your taxes up front, but there is no required minimum distribution. It gets to go tax-free for as long as you want it to. So this can be a big, big deal, because I'm working with a family right now. They both have STRS pensions. They were both teachers.
Okay.
They one of them qualified for Social Security as well, because they also worked outside. They just never stopped working, so they have full Social Security plus STRS pension, and between the two of them, they have more income than they need. They also saved in their 403Bs through the school system for years, and they have almost $1 million in 403Bs. So, and they're in their mid-60s right now.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
in 7 years, we just projected at a modest 5% earnings rate, and in 7 years, when it's time to start taking a required minimum distribution, they're going to have over $60,000 a year added to their income by a required minimum distribution. So, and that's assuming just a modest rate of return. So just imagine that, okay, now you've got an extra $60,000 coming in. Well, when the 22% bracket goes back up to 25, okay, you just all of a sudden got a 20% increase on the tax on money that you didn't want to take out, but you now have to take out.
Wow.
If they lower those brackets some, that could make it even a bigger deal.
Yeah.
So we don't know what that's going to be. So I can't even, project what it might be in the future. But it keeps getting bigger and bigger because the percentage that you have to take out gets larger as you get older. So when you first take it out, it's slightly under 4%. By the time you're 80, it's right at 5%. By the time you're 92, it's 10% that you're required to pull out per year.
Wow. Okay.
So these are things that are part of what happens with a traditional. With a Roth, you don't have that. So what do people do if they saved all their life in the traditional? Okay.
And now they're only able to put a small amount per year into the Roth, and it's not
Exactly.
substantial enough to draw income from in your retirement plan.
Okay. Okay.
So there's something called a conversion.
Okay.
So we have the ability to take it from a traditional to a Roth, and the process is called a conversion.
Okay.
Now, you can do any amount. There's no income limit on who can convert. You can do any amount at any time, but there are some things to be cautious about. If you are under 59 and a half and you do a conversion, if you try to take the tax out of the conversion,
This is crazy. I'll cut in. You'll pay a 10% tax by doing that, by taking that money out early before age 59 and a half. So you have to have
Wow.
other money to pay the tax.
Oh my gosh.
yes, on
Again,
on
another
top, yes.
complicated feature that
It is.
you need to be aware of.
Wow.
Right, and that's a tax penalty on top of your ordinary tax.
Oh my gosh.
So
okay.
yes, so you've got to be cautious if you're going to do it prior to 59 and a half that you have other money that you can pay the tax with. But if you do, that's okay to do it before 59 and a half.
Okay.
So you have to be cautious of that. And then each time you do a Roth conversion, there's what's called a 5-year rule, which means that you can't touch that money for 5 years. You have to leave it alone. Otherwise, when you pull it out, you'll pay tax again.
Wow.
Yeah, so you have to be cautious of that.
Okay.
The 5-year rule. So if you do a Roth conversion each and every year, each conversion will have its own 5-year waiting period before you can touch that particular money.
Wow.
So you have to be aware. I mean, there's some rules to it. Anybody can do it. There's no income limit. You can do as much as you like. And we typically recommend go up to the top of the 24% bracket, especially if you're not 65 yet and you're not on Medicare. Because there's another tax that Medicare can throw in there if you go above, like right now, the IRMA, Medicare's extra tax on the Medicare premium. For couples, if it's over $206,000, then your Medicare Part B premium will start to go up, and it's in
Okay.
increments. So that can quadruple in price if you earn too much income. They don't call it a tax, but I call it a sneaky one.
That is sneaky. I agree. All
Yes.
of these things, my gosh, there's so much to understand, and it's kind of a complicated puzzle. I don't know how
Yes.
anyone can try to do that on their own.
He keeps it straight somehow.
Yes.
Very impressive. It
Yes.
really
Yes,
is.
and we don't really have time to dig too deep into this one today, but there's something called a backdoor Roth.
Okay.
Which you see that all over the internet. If you watch social media videos, YouTube, you'll see a lot about the backdoor Roth, which is a great, great thing. You just have to be careful, again, about converting those dollars and adding in after-tax money, which is what a lot of videos will tell you to do. However, that money all becomes mixed then, so you can't separate it out. And so there's some tax burden that comes along with that some people aren't aware of just by doing it based off of a quick video they watched.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yes, the backdoor Roth, it comes from you putting after-tax dollars into your traditional and then converting it over to a Roth, okay, which you can do, But as she was talking about, it's like putting creamer in coffee. Once you put the creamer in, you can't separate the cream from the coffee. It's all there.
True.
So if you've got pre-tax and after-tax dollars in your 401k, if you put, say, $40,000 of after-tax and you want to turn around and convert that, but if 80% is pre-tax and only 20% is after-tax, then when you convert that, 80% of it's going to be taxable because it's considered all out of the same cup of coffee, so to speak.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So it can be complicated. You need someone that knows what they're doing, and don't just trust the YouTube videos and what you find on the internet, because they really don't have anybody to answer to.
That's true. That's true. Greg, thank you. Kristen, thank you. To our viewers at home, there's a number to call on your screen. That number is 614-336-7660. And if you're sitting in the viewing audience today with your cup of coffee and you're asking yourself, do I understand traditional 401k? Do I understand the Roth? Do I understand Roth conversions? What about the backdoor Roth that we just mentioned? If you're unsure, this is the perfect time for you to call in today. Claim a spot with Greg and Kristen Taylor. That number is 614-336-7660. You've worked your entire life to get to the retirement years, and you deserve to have peace of mind in your retirement. If you don't have a pen handy, that's okay. Grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to the landing page for Legacy Retirement Group, and you can claim your spot accordingly. Don't let this be a mystery and a puzzle that you can't solve. It's not something that you want to do alone. You need help with retirement. Greg and Kristen are here. We're going to take a very short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We know the market is going to get worse from here. This is the biggest monthly decline in 10 years. People's 401ks took a major hit.
Well, my investments are tanking. My retirement isn't going as planned. I can't believe I let my kid talk me into buying crypto. I mean, what is that anyway?
This was the fourth worst contraction in history.
So how are you two doing?
Your financial future doesn't have to be uncertain. I'm Greg Taylor with Legacy Retirement Group. If you've amassed a nest egg, it's time for a financial advisor to help you reach your retirement goals. This is one of the greatest tax windows in history. Now is the time to take advantage of this tax discount while you can. We specialize in retirement planning, tax mitigation, estate planning, and much more. Plan your retirement right. Call now for your complimentary portfolio review and tax analysis.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group, and we're talking all about your retirement today, Roth 401ks, all that good stuff. We have viewer questions, but first, Kristen, I want to ask you a question. The testmyretirement.com, what exactly is that? What can people find there?
Yeah, so we've set up a landing page right within our site for our viewers that you just go to testmyretirement.com. You click on Learn More. You're able to input a couple pieces of information. It won't take more than a couple minutes to put, I would say 2 minutes to fill out.
Okay.
And then at the end, you'll be given a tax map and RMD report.
Wow.
And so it's a nice way just from the comfort of your own home to get started on looking at what this looks like for you. You know, what qualifications of dollars you have, what tax qualifications you have on the dollars you've saved. So it's easy, just testmyretirement.com.
I love that.
It can help them calculate to Roth or not to Roth.
Yes, because that is the question.
It is.
And speaking of questions,
I believe I didn't remember what Shakespeare that was from.
I had to Google because my thought first was Macbeth as well,
Yes.
but it's
Cameron
Hamlet.
just read?
Oh,
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and
So I've been
Juliet.
thinking of all those. Yeah, but go ahead with the viewer question.
Oh, the classics. I love the classics.
Yes.
Okay, viewer question. Today our question comes from Brett. He is 60 years old. His wife Cindy is 52. They have about $60,000 in Roth accounts. Brett has $600,000 in his 401k, and Cindy has STRS and $70K in an inherited Roth. They have about $300,000 in savings in the bank, and they both work, but they're trying to figure out if they can potentially retire in the next 5 years. The question is, what steps should I be taking now to ensure that I'm okay for retirement? And he loves your show.
Well, that's awesome. And, you know, now's a perfect time to be looking into it because that 5-year window, you know, the red zone towards retirement and really understanding. But the first thing, know your goals. What retirement wants to look like for you.
Yes.
Because that's really the beginning point to understand what it's going to cost. Because everybody's idea of the perfect retirement's different. You know, for some, the perfect retirement's traveling through Europe. And you can do it on a dime or you can do it really expensive. You know, it depends on how you want to do it. But
Sure.
Then you're going to do the math.
yes.
So you're going to do the math, and it looks like they've started to kind of take inventory. That's the first part of doing the math, taking inventory of what dollars you have saved and really understanding what you have to work with. You know, what
Absolutely.
you have to build that sandwich, that retirement sandwich, if you will.
You're right.
And going through those numbers.
For sure. And then you understand your risks because if you're going to retire, now you have to start thinking about, okay, how can different aspects of life impact my ability to be retired? Market volatility, taxes, as we've talked about on the show today, you know, having a solid income plan and understanding how income is a part of your day-to-day life, because without income, you know, you don't really have your lifestyle.
That's true.
So yeah, and then healthcare
Absolutely.
and health insurance, because the wife I think was 52, and in 5
Yes.
years she'll only be 57, so she'll be 8 years from Social Security, from Medicare.
Okay.
Which means during that 8-year period, you need to figure out what you're going to do about health insurance.
Okay.
Because, you know, typically that can be a major expense. In many cases, can be like a house payment.
Make it or
Sure.
break it for retirement.
It really can.
Wow.
So understanding that piece about health insurance is big, and then making sure you have a solid legacy plan, that's all part of it. But if you don't understand what those risks are, then you go into it blind,
Absolutely.
and that's no place to go.
No. Kristen, only a minute and a half left of the show this week, but you and Greg have a very special offer to present to our viewers. Let's talk about what that is before we say goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talk about our website all the time. It's just a great resource to get started, get your plan moving for retirement. And I'd like to offer you to go on our website, legacyretirementgroup.com, click on the Tools tab, and you're able to go and download a My Retirement Kit. Request that right from our website, and that'll give you a space to go through those things that Greg was just talking about and really getting a lay of the land, laying out what you have saved, laying out what you need, the things that you need to look for to move towards your winning retirement.
Wonderful, because nobody should be going this alone.
No.
It's too confusing.
It is.
It really is. Kristen, thank you for another amazing episode this week. And Greg, as always, thank you so much, too. I love being with
This
the
was
both
fun.
of you.
I had a
This
great
was
time
so
today.
much fun.
Yeah.
And we learned a little bit about Shakespeare in the process.
Yes.
To our viewers at home, there's a number to call on your screen, 614-336-7660. As you can see, without guided help in retirement, it can be a scary place. You don't need to feel that way. Greg and Kristen can light the path for your retirement dream. All you have to do is call in 614-336-7660. Thank you so much for spending time with us today on Winning Retirement TV. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed most of all. We look forward to seeing you back 1 week from today. Take care now.